Hello, 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 and welcome to Worthy Wednesday. First of all, ladies, I want to point out that the natural light you see is from the sun. Even though I'm inside, it has been sunny for the last 2 weeks here in Portland/Washington, and I have been outside every single day after I get off work and I walk around for an hour because you don't know how much you miss something until you don't have it all the time. And going from New Mexico to Arizona was not a culture shock. It was not a climate shock. So I didn't miss anything. I enjoyed having more hot days and I enjoyed, having a winter that was like, oh my gosh, it's 40 degrees, it's freezing. But when I moved to Oregon/Washington, yeah, like sometimes the weather was in the teens or the single digits. When we had the Snowmageddon apocalypse, it was like zero. Y'all, I was so cold. Anyway, I digress. So I am so excited to be able to have some natural light. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the phone a little bit. Anyway, happy Worthy Wednesday. I am happy to see you guys, and I took a nap today because I go to work at 3:45 in the morning, and by the time I get home, first I'm starving, and then secondly, I feel like I need to take a nap in order to reset so I could do other things throughout the rest of the late morning, early afternoon, and take care of other things. So anyway, I took a nap today and I am really excited about doing that. So today is April 21st. This is our 16th Worthy Wednesday. I'm going to pull my notebook over to this side. Like you saw me turning my head, it was because my notebook was over there. So no worries. I'll just bring it over here so y'all can see it. Well, so I don't have to turn my head. So this is our 16th Worthy Wednesday. Isn't that crazy? Okay, there are 52 Wednesdays in the year. We're at 16. So kind of like a fourth of 16. Yeah, because 16 times 3 is 48. So we're a third of the way through of the number of Wednesdays in the year of 2021. I am also thankful that we are in the fourth month of 2021. And life as we know it is not normal yet. It is a new normal that we are all adjusting to. And so I'm thankful for that as well. Now, Worthy Women, I told you that 2021 is definitely the year of me, which makes it great for you because that means I'm never talking about you. I'm always talking about me. And if you happen to see yourself in that, then that means you can learn something in that lesson. And I always feel like that's the most important thing, that you are able to learn something when you can recognize yourself in somebody else's story. So today I'm wearing my Worthy Women shirt because I absolutely love Worthy Women and I love Worthy Wednesday. And I think about just how far the group has come and so many emotions and memories, but I'm done with that because I could talk about that for 5 hours. But anyway, I thought today that it would be so important for me to interrupt the year of me. I used to think that I wouldn't be able to find enough things to talk about, and I've told you guys that many times. But I also feel like there are moments where I know that there is supposed to be a divine interruption to what we are talking about, to something that needs to be talked about. And most of the time, whenever I go to talk about something, it's because I've experienced it several times. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should talk about this because it's a lesson. It was a lesson for me. And it might be a lesson for one of our worthy women. So I thought, well, I'm not going to talk about it because really, maybe it's just for me. And I don't want people to think that I'm trying to tell them what to do, because really this is about me. And I'm really trying to work on myself and become who I was created to be. But anyway, I thought tonight that I would interrupt the year of 2021, the year of me. And I want to talk about 3 little letters, T, B, and H. Now, for those of us who are a little bit older than 11, TBH is what the kids say when they text. And honestly, I've always instructed Gianna to never text me an acronym. Like, do not text me IDK, TBH, LA. Like, don't text me that. Like, use all of your vocabulary that you have learned and mastered and speak to me in complete sentences. But TBH means to be honest. And I have spent quite a bit of time analyzing what honest means and why do we say to be honest, and what does it really mean when I'm saying I'm going to be honest now? Like, wasn't I honest prior to this moment in our conversation, or was I not being honest? But now I'm giving you the preface to know what I'm about to say is really how I feel. But before all of that, I was just saying things that I might not have been telling the truth specifically. Now, here's where I struggle. And since we know that the struggle is really cognitive dissonance, I find it quite disturbing that we talk about being honest as if it is something that is reserved for those who practice it, instead of honesty being a part of everyone's communication. So TBH, to be honest, is a phrase, a text abbreviation. It is used as a caveat, which means I want to insert this phrase so the person that I'm in communication with will now understand that what I'm about to say is really what I wanted to say this entire time, but I'm giving you a heads up, basically. I'm saying to you, what you're about to hear next will either hurt your feelings, make you happy, make you sad, make you angry, get you frustrated, and I want you to know that I'm pausing in the conversation to give you that warning by saying, to be honest, and then I'm going to say what I really want to say. So the next word or phrase that you hear after TBH is raw and uncut. Now, I don't really know if this happens with men because I'm a woman. But when women have communication and when we have conversations and when we say to be honest, I mean, like, honestly, I can't talk about you. Let me just talk about me. If I ever say in a conversation, to be honest, what I am really saying to you is I have done my best prior to this moment to not say what you really need to hear, which is the truth. I've been trying to convey to you in other methods and other ways of communication to let you know that your thought process isn't exactly where it should be in order for you to be mature and to grow. And when I say to be honest to someone that I'm speaking with, what I'm really telling them is you are now about to get the absolute truth. You are now about to get your entire perspective rocked because I am tired of dancing around the issue when it's obvious to me the reason why you're speaking to me about this is because you want somebody to be honest and you want somebody to tell the truth and you want somebody to challenge you to make better choices. Now, worthy women, see, I don't know if y'all do that, but this is about me. And I can tell you that there are not any moments in my life where I don't think that the entire time I'm speaking to somebody. And as I've gotten a little bit more older, I don't know if I'm wiser yet in that space, but as I've gotten older, I've just started being honest from jump. Because what I've learned as I've matured as an adult and in relationships, that the only way to grow, the only way to have value in a relationship is to be honest. Like, if I waste my time telling you a lie, then basically I've wasted your time and my time. Because why in the world? Why in the world would you want to be in a relationship with somebody? Let's not even involve other people. Why would you want to be in a relationship with yourself if you lie to yourself? If you are not having a good hair day and you're like, oh my God, my hair looks fabulous, and it's really not, why are we afraid to be honest with ourselves? If I have an anger problem, why am I not willing to admit that I have an anger problem? If I have a problem being bossy, why am I not willing to admit that I like to be bossy? And that is a true statement. If I have a problem being kind to people when they've exhausted all of my patience, why can I not admit that I have a problem being patient? To be honest, it's because I don't want to. To be honest, it's because no one's holding me accountable. And by no one, I mean me. To be honest, worthy women, the reason why we don't do the hard work is because, well, we don't want to do the work. And I have learned as I've grown up that in order to become who I am destined to be, honesty has to be the way that I communicate. So anyway, let's talk about it. When I say to be honest, my responsibility is to warn you that my next words may or may not change how you think, how you feel, how you process, and how you determine whether or not you and I will continue to have a relationship. But the way we justify that and how we ruin relationships with other people and other situations is we tell them, well, I said to you to be honest, which was a warning, which means I flew the red flag. I flew my hands in the air. I danced all around to let you know, hey, what I'm about to say could really hurt your feelings. But I wonder if the reason why we use the phrase to be honest is because we really do want to hurt people's feelings. I mean, listen, this is what's great about this. This is not about you. It's about me. And I wondered to myself, have I said that because I really did want to hurt somebody's feelings? And the way that I felt that I could justify that was by saying to them, to be honest, actually, I didn't like that. Instead of just coming out in the beginning and saying, I just want to tell you that our interaction, I didn't like it. And these are the reasons why I didn't like it. No, but what I've done prior to making a decision to be more mature, which just in case you're wondering, that decision is something you have to make every single day. But what I've done in the past is determined that the only way for me to think or believe that I got my point across is to make them feel less than after I finished talking. Anyway, I hope y'all don't do that because it's bad. I mean, because I've done it and it's bad. And I think there are certain moments in our life that we actually think that it's okay because it didn't hurt us. It only hurt them. But to be honest, worthy women, that's terrible. So how is it? These are the questions I have in my head about this TBH. How is it that we must warn people of honesty? Why do I have to warn somebody? Somebody that I'm in a relationship with, whether it's my family, whether it's my friends at work, whether it's my colleagues, whether it's an important relationship in my life. Why? How is it that I must warn somebody when I'm going to be honest? Because what I'm really beginning to discover is that maybe my line of communication is not honesty. Maybe the actual way that I communicate is truth sprinkled with a little bit of, oh, well, maybe if you could just adjust this, or it's truth sprinkled with a little bit of, well, I think how you could do it better is, and what I've discovered is truth doesn't need any help. The truth is the truth. The truth makes you free. In my favorite book of the Bible, John 8:32, it says, you shall know the truth and the truth will make you free. So if I tell you the truth, you're going to get free. You're not going to think anything that's backwards or against who you were created to be if I tell the truth. So honesty and truth they go together. Did y'all understand that? Honesty and truth go together. So I wonder how many times in my life, I mean, I can't talk about you, I just talk about me, but I wonder how many times I thought, well, if I tell them the truth, it's going to hurt their feelings. If I tell them the truth, they're going to think that I'm not a good friend. If I tell the truth, they're not going to want to be around me anymore. So what I decide to do is to throw in the caveat of, to be honest, and then I feel like I get off the hook by telling them something without telling them something. So how is it, worthy women, that we must warn people of honesty when the way that we should live and the way that we should communicate is honesty? The second question I thought was, then why don't we practice honesty? It's almost like tying your shoe. You know, when you first learn how to do it, I mean, it takes you like 5 or 6 minutes per shoe. It takes you a long time. But the more you practice, the better you become at remembering the steps and singing the song if you learned a song and doing what you need to do in order to tie your shoe. But the only way that that happens is if you have shoes that need to be tied. So I remember when we learned how to tie our shoes, our parents only bought us tennis shoes that needed to be tied. That way it would become a habit and we would do it without thinking. Our mind and our thoughts and our brains and our bodies connected, and we would tie our shoe without even thinking about it. So I wonder then, why don't we practice honesty? Because see, the more you practice it, then it becomes a fabric of your life. It is easier to tell the truth. Why do we not think honesty is the best policy? So I'm going to tell you some things I've heard as I've grown up and become an adult and worked in the adult sector, that people say, not everybody appreciate honesty. I mean, like, you don't really want to hurt people's feelings. You don't want to cause people to think that you aren't for them, or that you're against them, or that you're downgrading them, or you're talking down to them. And you want to make sure that people feel like they're a part of the team. And I used to think, oh yeah, that makes total sense. First of all, I just want to say it doesn't make sense at all. Because if I'm lying to you, how is that helping you? How is that helping your confidence? How is that helping your self-esteem? How is that helping your ability to grow and mature and become better? I mean, it's almost like if you want to become a doctor and you go to medical school and you fail the class that you need to pass in order to go to section 2, and they say, oh, you know what? It's totally fine. I know you didn't pass that, but don't worry. But then the very first patient you have when you graduate has the exact same ailment that you failed in the first year of medical school, y'all. But because we don't want to be honest with people, that doctor doesn't know what to do. So I think to myself, that's exactly what honesty is. Honesty will allow me to hear, I did not pass this requirement. Therefore, I am going to go back and practice it and practice it and practice it until I can do it without thinking. See, honesty helps me become a better doctor if that's what I'm interested in doing. Honesty helps me become a better attorney if I don't know a part of the tort law that I have to know in order to pass the bar exam. Honesty helps me go back and say, okay, I've got to study this. I've got to make other examples. I've got to take different notes, because how do I become the best that I am supposed to be if I am living in a lie in a critical part of my identity? So, of course, I went to the dictionary, y'all, because hello, the dictionary is my best friend in real life. And I really thought to myself, how can I convey honestly how important it is for us to not just say that phrase in order to get an advantage over someone that we have a relationship with, or over someone that we don't have a relationship with. And so honesty in the dictionary is an adjective, which we know an adjective modifies a noun. Okay. So we understand that if someone says, oh my God, Corey is honest, they're saying that I am a person that practices truth and integrity. I am a person that practices communication that is beneficial for both parties, not just for somebody else. Because I think oftentimes we forget that communication is not just me telling you something. Communication is also you telling me something, and both of us listening and hearing to understand, and then speaking to be heard. Anyway, so it's a modifier. It denotes the quality of the thing that it modifies, whether that's a person, place, thing, or main idea. It is also to specify a thing that is distinct from something else. So an adjective separates something from something else. So for example, if I said that there's a car over there and you turned to look and there were 50 cars, you'd be like, which one? But if I said there was a black Model S Tesla, you are going to look for a black Model S Tesla. Why? Because I added two adjectives. I said, the car I want you to identify is black, a Model S, and it's a Tesla. So now you have three things, three adjectives that modify car that you can specifically identify in order to find exactly what I'm asking you to look for. So honesty is just like that. It modifies and it specifies the thing that is distinct from something else. So if my objective is to have honesty in my life, for it to be a pillar in my life that I live by, I must be willing to specify my life and the way that I communicate different from other things. So there were, I think, 5 definitions of honesty in the dictionary, many of them where I just kind of felt like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, okay. All right, sure. But there's one particular definition that I believed encapsulated all of the things that we have learned on Worthy Wednesday. And that definition said that honest means to be marked by free, forthright, and sincere expression. Honest, to be marked by free, forthright, and sincere expression. So free, we understand, means without obligation, without debt, without any restraint. So when you are honest in your communication, you are free. You are free from living or thinking any thoughts as to whether or not you said the right thing to someone else. Because you are free in your heart and your mind, that there is no ill will, there is no ulterior motive. You just want that person to experience the same level of freedom. It also said that it's forthright. Okay, so that word means that it's directly forward. Now, let me take a pause right here, worthy women. My natural personality is to be directly forward with a hint of bossiness, with also a hint of, did you hear what I said? You should do it. But when you are being honest, directly forthright, or forthright is directly forward. It doesn't mean that I'm saying words to get you to do what I want, because that's manipulation. And not that anybody is guilty of that. Not that anybody is guilty of persuasion in order for you to do what I want you to do. Forthright in your communication means I am directly forward. I am only speaking to the issue that is at hand. I'm not bringing up things from the past. I'm not bringing up things that aren't relevant to where you are in your life right now. I'm not even trying to make myself appear more than I really am in a moment that you need somebody to recognize where you are. See, when I am directly forward, that means I have only one objective, and that objective is to speak honestly, to give the truth, and then move forward. So honest means to be marked by free, forthright, and sincere expression. Now, I don't know, worthy women, how many of you struggle with this? Probably none of you. But Carice struggles with it a lot. My natural personality, outside of being bossy, outside of being dominant, has also been at times called intimidating. Now, listen, there was a time where I really felt like that was bad, but now I don't feel that's bad at all. However, I have learned that you can win more people with honey than you do with vinegar. And also, my favorite book, the Bible says, a soft answer turns away wrath. It also says that sweet words are like a honeycomb. Okay, so what I recognize is that in order for me to have a sincere expression, I have to balance the weight of my words. I think sometimes we as worthy women say, let the chips fall where they may. You're going to get what you get and don't throw a fit. If you come to me a certain way, honey, buckle up, because I'm about to respond in a way that meets that same level of communication. But maturity teaches you something different. Honesty teaches you that even though I want you to be free, even though I want to be forthright in my communication, The most important aspect of honesty is sincere expression. And that means that I am genuine and that I am real in the way that I desire and the way that I choose to communicate with you. I can basically use an example about my life because I probably have 4 million in this particular arena. You know, when you're a mom, you learn how to be a mom from your mom. You learn how to be a mom from your grandmother, from your aunts, from people that you know, people that you admire, people that you look up to. And then there are certain things that you do because you just want to do them. Let me raise my hand to that. But one thing I learned, you know, Gianna's, well, she's still 18, but she's older, right? She'll be 19 this summer. But one thing I've always taught her is you can tell me anything. You can say anything. All you have to do is remember that you just have to be respectful in your delivery. Now, has she always done that? No, she hasn't, because she's my kid. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you, there are moments that she's talking and I'm like, ma'am, get your life right now. But I remember one time that Gianna told me, she was like, Mom, I don't like when you get upset and you start yelling. I get a little nervous. I get a little anxiety because I'm like, why is she yelling about this? Like, I don't want to tell her because I don't want her to yell. Now, there would have been a time that Karee would have been honest, to be honest, with her and said, little girl, I don't care about that. You don't tell me what to do. I'm your mama. I will say whatever I want, however I want. Get over it. However, if I want my communication, to be honest, to be marked by free, which is unhindered, unchained, it is unattached to anything that could bind it. If I want my communication to be forthright, but more than anything, if I want my communication to have a sincere expression, then I had to make a decision in that moment. And the decision was, okay, I can't do that no more. I literally need to hear what she's saying. She's not telling me that she doesn't love me. She's not telling me that she doesn't hear what I'm saying. She's telling me how I'm delivering this line of communication is not working for her. Now, if you're like me, which you're probably not, and y'all should be glad, but if you're like me, I'm like, oh, no. The problem is never with me. The problem is always with other people, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever said that. It's just me, and I'm totally fine to admit to you, I've said that many times. I'm like, okay, so the problem is not me. The problem is you. But I recognize that in that moment, in that relationship with her, that's a relationship I want to maintain forever. Hello. I want to be able to have honest communication with her and not preface it by saying, well, to be honest, daughter, so and so and so and so and so. No, I decided in that moment that I had to listen to that. So I said, okay. And I said, well, I'm sorry if I'm yelling. I didn't know that I was yelling. I mean, I talk loud. Wait, sidebar. Sometimes what we do in communication when we are called out, because someone is directly forward with us about what's happening, sometimes what we do is we sidestep that and say, well, actually, it's this. Well, the reason why I do that is because I talk loud. Oh, well, the reason I do this is because, well, I got excited and I wanted to tell you what I wanted to tell you. I thought to myself, how many times have you sidestepped the truth? How many times have you sidestepped honesty because you didn't like what it was saying? You didn't like how it made you feel in that moment. So instead of you manning up and taking that and saying, okay, I need to adjust, you say, well, actually what happened was this. I mean, y'all, here's the beauty of me in 2021. Y'all don't even do this stuff. It's just me. It's me who sidesteps things. And I literally heard myself say, I'm sorry that I was yelling, but I talk loud. And then I was like, I'm sorry, Gianna. I'm sorry. I am not going to make an excuse that I talk loud. What I'm going to do is work on that for you. Because to be honest, worthy women, the only way to grow in any relationship is to take what the other person is saying and say, is it true? Is what they're saying about me true? If someone says to you, well, sometimes, you're really mean. First of all, before you get upset and tell them where they can go, you need to say, is that true? Is it true that I'm mean to people? Is it true that I'm manipulative? Is it true that I'm sneaky? Is it true that I don't like people? Is it true that I only want what I want? I mean, I could pretty much say yes to all of that. I mean, not the sneaky part, but I can say yes that I want what I want. I can say yes that sometimes I will flip the script in order for you to get what I want you to do anyway, because I ain't got time to explain it and you ought to know what you ought to be doing anyway. But what I'm saying, worthy women, is if I am serious about being worthy, if I'm serious about being destined, if I'm serious about being disciplined, if I'm serious about being loving and kind and on purpose, then why don't I want people to tell me the truth? Why don't I want honesty in my life? I literally have been thinking about this for weeks. Like, why don't we want to be honest? Why do we think that the best way to accomplish, and here's the answer, our own agenda? I mean, let me not talk about you, but let me talk about me. 9 times out of 10, listen, y'all, my gift is talking, preaching, not singing. I mean, I can, but it's not my gift. You know, communicating, teaching, instructing. Those are the things that I know I'm gifted at that. And because of that, I love to learn. I love to read. I love to listen. I love to be exposed to different levels of communication and interaction because it works for me. But in that learning, I have also learned how to get what I want. So I wonder if the reason, worthy women, that I sometimes preface the conversation with, to be honest, is because what I really want to tell them is my truth. What I really want to tell them is what I think about them. What I really want to tell them is what I think they should do. I mean, I know y'all don't do that stuff. It's just me. It's totally me. It's fine. But I literally have thought to myself, is that why I tell people? Well, honestly, so-and-so and so-and-so and so. Because see, the preface of honest as an adjective, it says that it is a modifier of the noun. It denotes the quality of a thing. So if someone says that you are honest, that means that the quality of your communication is always free, always forthright, and always a sincere expression. There is no ulterior motive. Oh my God. There is no hidden agenda. It is just designed to help that person get free. So I wonder, worthy women, how many of us, I mean, me included, have done things and said things and used the caveat, to be honest, to promote our own agenda, to promote what we want, to get what we want from those people in that moment, in that situation. And I wonder how many times that's backfired. I mean, we could probably all sit here and talk about how many times it's backfired in our life, but yet that doesn't stop us from repeating it, which is even more of a tragedy. But I want to challenge you this week in your relationships, in your families, in your work environment. When you go to Walmart, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to Target, I want to challenge you in your communication to not use honesty as a crutch to crush other people, but to use honesty to modify the quality of that person so they can be free. So that communication that you give to them is forthright, which means it's directly forward. It doesn't cut them. It doesn't kill them. It sharpens them. Because see, true, honest communication, although it stings, it stings for a minute. You'd be like, woo, that was real tight. It was real tight. But once you get over the tightness of the truth, you then can embrace the truth and change from the inside out. So I wonder this week if you are willing to be honest, and not with other people, but with yourself. Because honestly, pun intended, there's no other way to live, worthy women. You cannot be who you are if you are not honest with yourself, if you are not honest with God, and if you are not honest with others. So the next time somebody texts you, to be honest, or the next time you hear, to be honest, you'll have to think, what exactly are they modifying on that person? Is what they're about to say going to help them be free? Is it going to communicate directly forward to them? And is that expression sincere? Because if it is, it will change them for the better. But before you do that, watching someone else, you need to do it for yourself first. So today I asked myself, Corey, do you want to be honest about certain things you do in your communication, about certain ways that you say things to people in order to get what you want? Or do you just want to keep pretending and warning people that what I'm about to say is what I really want to say, but not using honesty the way it was intended? Something to think about on this Worthy Wednesday. Good worthy women. I can't wait to see you again.